Hey guys, Technomentary here with a video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to talk about the iPad Air first generation in 2022 and going into 2022, if this still is worth buying, if you're looking to buy it or if you're still using it, what you can expect out of the iPad Air. Now, the iPad Air is one of the lighter iPads that you can get with that 9.7-inch display. It came out with a lot of promises and a lot of features that were introduced when it first came out, and now it was released back in 2013 of November. So now if you really think about it, going into 2022, we just hit over 8 years or so since this device has been released, and that's sort of going into a lot, and saying that this device has been around for some time is probably saying the least of it. Now, there's a lot going on for this device. Now, if you're looking to take a look at this device, as you can see here, we have a bunch of the apps downloaded. One thing about all these apps that we have downloaded, for example, Netflix here, as you can see, any of these apps that you're seeing, most of the apps here are simply using an older version of it. It's of the app itself. So none of these apps are actually newer version of the app. And the way we were able to download it was using this method where if you downloaded an app on your account on a device that was supported, it sort of saved it on the history of your Apple account, and then you were able to do it. You couldn't just directly download it, and we explained this in another video, which will leave a link for you guys in the description section. So using this method of downloading on another iPad or another Apple device that's compatible, and then having it appear in the history and then being downloaded right through here. So that's one thing we were able to do. So a lot of the apps here are starting to lose support, and the reason why that's the case is if you go into settings and then go to about, you'll notice you can't really update the iPad Air 1 past iOS 12. Now, right now we're on iOS 15, so it's 3 generations behind. You do get these occasional security update that Apple does release for iOS 12, but in 2022, pretty much even on iOS 12, you're pretty much out of date with the iPad. So the biggest thing about this iPad is that it cannot update past iOS 12, and that kind of creates a lot of problem. And the first problem, as we mentioned, was being not able to downloading some of the apps. Now, if you're thinking of downloading this apps such that are meant to be played for on a newer device, you won't be able to do it. And the reason is that the iPad Air only has 1 gig of RAM. It does run on the A7 Bionic chip, and when it was initially released, we were able to get iOS 7, and now iOS 12 was 5 generations, and that's sort of the life cycle for most Apple devices. After 5 generations of update, Apple simply pulls it out, which wasn't the case for the iPhone 6s lineup, but for other devices that is the case. As you notice here, when we do open up applications, they do tend to take time, sometimes between 5 seconds to even 10 seconds, and once it opens up, it starts to load up and things come up. But you should get this sort of spinning wheel whenever you open up an app for the very first time, and then when it is opened up finally, you can start using it. But you'll notice that's the case. Now, if you're looking for an iPad simply to play lighter games, of course this iPad is good for that because it does have that 9.7-inch display along with that sort of lightweight design, so it's sort of portable in a lot of sense. Now, if you're using it for just simple light browsing, yeah, it will get the job done for you, but do expect it to be really slow. Now, if you use the newer device like a newer iPhone or iPad, you'll find this to be extremely slow. Now, that brings us to sort of the point of this video. Is the iPad Air really worth it in 2022? And going into 2022, what can you expect from this iPad? Well, right now the Air are up to 4 generations. So this is the first generation. So if you think about it, it's 3 generations behind. Now, there is a rumor that the Air 5th generation might be released later this year. Not quite sure how much of that news is solid yet, but going to be 5th generation coming out. So first generation 2013 model, we're going to say this isn't really worth buying if you're thinking of buying. Now, if you have one laying around somewhere and want to use it, or have a child use it, or simply looking for an iPad that costs under $100 and simply just want to use it for really basic stuff like maybe watching YouTube videos and some shows on Netflix and things, you can still do that. But do remember, when you're trying to download these apps, you're going to have to do this special method where you use the account that you want to download through and sign into another device that's newer that can download the app, and then come into your app store and then sign into the same account and check your history list and then download it through this method, which it will allow you to download even if it says it's not compatible. So in all, this iPad isn't really worth it if you're looking to buy it. But if you're really crunching and looking to be more budget friendly and don't really care to be having a fast device, and it's something that it will want to get by, the iPad Air will get the job done, but not recommended for a device if you're looking to purchase in 2022. I want to hear from you guys. What's your thoughts on the iPad Air 1? Leave a comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.